Hi, my name's Alan Smith, and in this webcast I'm going to show you how to capture and upload animations for the Global Render Farm Lab. So your event organizer should be able to provide you with the actual application, and in order to run this you will need to install the Connect SDK version 1.6, and you will need a Connect controller, either a Windows Connect controller or an Xbox Connect controller. And if you're using an Xbox one, you've got to have the adapter which will adapt the Connect connector to a regular USB, and it also has a power supply on it. So the first thing I'm going to do is just verify that the application is configured correctly. So I'm going to drag the cloudray.capture.exe.config into Notepad, and I'm just going to verify that country is selected to Sweden and location is selected to Stockholm. So the application is running, and you can see my image in the depth sensor from Connect. Now it's a fairly basic application, but the interface isn't too intuitive, so I'll just basically run through a bit about creating animations. Now I'm using a Windows Connect, so I can actually set this near view mode, which works a lot better if you're closer to the Connect sensor. I've then got these depth ranges which can be used to set the minimum and the maximum depth, and you can see the yellow information on the histogram is showing these actual depth range limits there. So to create an animation, I really want to have a depth range which is going to basically simulate my interaction with one of those desktop pinboard toys. So what I'm going to do is to move the minimum depth to here. I'm going to move away from the camera a bit. I'm going to click on the Start button, make an impression in the actual depth range, then I'm going to click on Stop. Now you can see here that the histogram is showing for the full animation. So this is the first frame, this is the last frame, and this is how I've basically interacted with the depth range. Now what I can do is move the minimum depth so it's just at the top of one of these peaks, and move the maximum depth so it's around about one of these actual troughs here. And that should give me a fairly reasonable animation when we're animating the pinboard. So I'm going to give the animation a title, so this will be Alan Webcast Test. It's 154 frames in length. If I want to go back and create a new animation, I can just click on New and it will discard the data that I've already captured. Now here I can set the lights, so we've got normal lighting, or I can select disco lighting if I want. I can select whether we use a slow camera rotate, a fast camera rotate, a matrix effect, or just have a still camera. I'm going to select fast, and then the action I've got normal for a normal pinboard, and kung fu where the actual pins fly out from the pinboard. So with those selected, I'm going to basically choose my options, and I'm going to click on Upload. And what this is going to do is it's going to start off an actual console application, which is going to upload the animation frames. The reason I do this is if you're on a slow internet connection, you may want to be uploading multiple animations, and if this application hangs, which it can do sometimes, it won't affect the actual applications that are uploading. So just leave this running and it will actually terminate itself when it's uploaded all of these frames. So once the animation has been captured and uploaded, if we go to the render job queue, we will see the animation there, the number of frames, the actual location, and you can see that it is in the state of being created. And we will see it go through various states being encoded, and then eventually it will disappear from the queue once it has been completed. Now there is some prioritization on the countries, so if you look at the country Sweden and we go back to the home page here, the actual worker roles that are running configured for the country of Sweden will prioritize processing the frames for the animation in Sweden. And when they've done all of those, they'll basically go on and start rendering for other actual countries. So if you want the animations in your country to be actually processed quicker, then scale up the amount of worker roles that you've got running within your country. And you can see now that it's changed to the state of rendering. So after a few minutes, my animation has now been published here. So be aware, the application does use the Connect Color sensor to actually take a picture there, so your pictures will be appearing on the internet on the website here. So if I click on this link here, we go to the animation here, and I can click on the button, and you can see that because I was setting the depth range carefully, you can see that my image comes out here into the pinboard. So it's really important when you're creating animations to get these depth frames set correctly.